What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. I saw something with DeontaybWilder, man. It was kind of funny because just reading his words and knowing the truth is like it's like you know that these guys pay attention to what's going on the internet, what's being said on social media. So when they say certain things, it's like, do you even care that everybody knows that you're trolling, that you don't mean what you say? Because there's no way for you to be so on top of things that you can't understand what's happening at the time. And um, you know, Deontay Wilder basically, I read some words that he said about he want to sit down with Anthony Joshua and have a face to face with him and let's make this fight happen. He said, I don't want Anthony Joshua to think I don't like him, like I have something against him. I know he's afraid of me, and I might have to go to England to have this sit down with him. And I'm laughing because there's videos up, and now his one of his biggest followers in Blue Blood made up this video and lied and completely said that Anthony Joshua has left and parted ties with Derek James, and he's now training with Ben Davidson. That was cleared up shortly after Blue Blood put that lie out. And basically, what that comes down to is whenever Anthony Joshua goes back to the UK, he trains with Ben Davidson. Okay, Eddie Hearn, I don't clear that up. And Blue Blood never said that. He clearly said that he left. That it's been confirmed that he has left Derek James and he is now training with Ben Davidson. And all of his little minions had a whole lot to say about AJ based on what Blue Blood said, which is why I say when these people make these videos, it's they're very irresponsible, because what they do is they speak on behalf of the fighters that they like as if they can do anything wrong. Okay, they can't do anything wrong because I like that fighter. But fighters that they really don't give two shits about, they'll sit and make up all types of lies, or they'll hear something and then run with it. There's been several times that I've made a video and like I wasn't sure on the information, and I'll make that known. So I'll look into this and then I'll update it further, or sometimes I completely scratch the video because what I wasn't sure of, I found out that it was so. Which is why a lot of times I don't just put a video out the second that I hear about something. Depends on the information, the source that it comes from, especially the horse's mouth, versus I don't make videos based off what other people are saying and say, oh, this is what happened because that person said it. No, you have to have either spoken with these fighters have to say it themselves, the promoter or something. It has to come from one of them. Otherwise, even if it's an interview that I'm watching, but it has to come from a source that is either the fighter or the promoter, the management, something involved in the, yes, this is what's happening. Not some fanboy channel sitting up trying to tell us what's happening or not happening, and then you find out that they don't even know what they're talking about. So it's funny because listening to, Deontay Wilder say that, it's like, bro, he's not in England. He's in Texas. He's been in Texas for a minute. Everybody knows this. Eddie Hearn has been talking. And, it's funny because he feels like he always blames Eddie Hearn and pulls this. Eddie Hearn is holding AJ back. Eddie Hearn basically is, misguiding Anthony Joshua from getting in the ring. No, Anthony Joshua's gotten in the ring. He just fought the guy that you fought last. I mean, he's been fighting. So for him to say that is like, okay, if you're paying so much attention to Eddie Hearn, then you had to hear and know that Eddie Hearn has said, yeah, that Anthony Joshua was in Texas training with Derek James. Okay, so you don't have to come to England and look for him. He's in Texas. You're an Alabama boy. So, yeah, if you really wanted to get in touch with Anthony Joshua, you could. But the reality is, we know that Anthony Joshua is in training and hoping that he gets this chance with Urkovich for the IBF title, because we already know that it was said that if Tyson Fury and Usyk fight, which they're supposed to, right? After Mr. Fury decides to say, He's no longer boxing after this, fight with Ngannou. His boxing days are done. He did everything he could do. And I told y'all, this guy just said things just to say it. But bottom line, if they have a rematch, then Urkovich already said he's not going to wait. And pretty much whoever has the IBF title will be stripped. And that fight will take place between Urkovich and Anthony Joshua. And the winner is supposed to fight the winner of Usyk Fury rematch. Okay, so we already get that. So my point is, it's like Anthony Joshua has his sight set on something else. No one's sitting around waiting for one particular fighter. Okay, that's not a smart move. So I feel like, okay, Deontay has nothing going on. Meantime, you have Andy Ruiz calling his name out. Look back into that like you claim in that same article I read. Yeah, fight Andy Ruiz. Do something and give the people fights and not sit back and keep talking about how you want to fight 3-4 times a year and this guy's scared, that guy's scared. Andy Ruiz has been calling you out and you keep talking about him overpriced himself. And I look at it and I'm like, well, you guys are making it seem like Francis Ngannou was some juggernaut of a pay-per-view star or something. No. How much money would you be willing to negotiate with Francis Ngannou? A guy with one fight. Versus here's a guy who's a former champion in Andy Ruiz. You're a former champion. You no longer hold it. You don't hold a title anymore. So what kind of crumbs are you trying to give people, right? Let's just be real. I just thought it was kind of funny, man, because it's like, then this dude is just talking. He's saying, like, Deontay, what are you saying? The dude is in Texas, man. What are you talking about? You think you might have to come to England. You know damn well he's not in England. And the thing about it is this. Saying you want to fight somebody versus sending an offer, making an offer. Your team and this person's fighter's team negotiating deals and let's make this happen. That's not the same thing. Anybody can say they want to fight somebody. Okay, we know for a fact you and Hank and Finkel have admitted several times already that Hearn has made offers to you guys. We know that DAZN made the $120 million offer to you guys. Only thing you guys ever did was be sarcastic and try to make yourselves look good with this fake $50 million nonsense. And it's funny how every question was always deflected about where's the money coming from and what happened and you got 24 hours, all that nonsense. Like, who does that? Ain't that the same similar type of thing that Fury was doing with this whole you got 24 hours to sign, take it or leave it? He did the same thing with Usyk. Now, how can you crucify Tyson Fury for doing that shit, but give Deontay Wilder and Finkel a pass for doing the same type of shit? We got the $50 million, take it or leave it. They don't want to show the money in the escrow account. They don't want to do nothing. Just take it or leave it. Now, you're going to go sign something that you have no proof that it actually even exists. No, that's stupid. And people who think that AJ should have took that deal without knowing the particulars, you're stupid. That's a completely dumb, asinine thing to do. Who the hell? That would be like somebody, just imagine. You get somebody, social media. Oh, you've won such and such. We've chose you to win our lottery. Blah, blah, blah. You've won a whopping $800 million. We are a very rich African family. We do this every year to bless someone in the States, this and this and this. Only thing we need is your bank information so we can send this money to you right away. God bless you, blah, 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 all this. And you got some fucking desperate person sitting, oh my God, this is real, and they sign the information. Do you know how many people get caught that shit? Just saying, right? When you accept a deal like that, that the terms could be, we're going to pay you $50 million over the course of the next 50 years. Or some dumb shit because you sat there and rushed and signed something and don't know where, don't even know the particulars. No, nobody does that. So all the excuses that was made is crazy. And I keep hearing these Wilder fans talking about how AJ's been running from Wilder. Running how? The very fighter that you sit here and idolize and worship is out of his own mouth. Oh, now he's begging for a fight. What you mean now? He's been trying to fight you. He's supposed to sit here and put his career on hold because you don't want to make your mind up. You don't want to fight Andy Ruiz. You don't want to fight Joshua. You don't want to. You keep saying you want these fights. When you send offers and you make you, it's like sitting up saying, "I want a job. I really want a job." Oh, I heard they're hiring at such and such. I really want a job. Well, have you been putting in applications? Did you send a resume? Nah. Well, do you really want a job? Sitting on your ass saying I want a job, but you're not doing anything. You're not making any inquiries. You're not trying to. How bad do you really want this job? You understand what I mean? Come on now. You have to make the effort. And if you're not, and the fact that you admitted about these offers, you've never heard Eddie Hearn ever at any point say Shelly Finkel sent him an offer. Other than that BS fake 50 million shit. We're not going to negotiate. Show me how that works. Nobody negotiates. You just have 24 hours to say yes or no. All right, stop, y'all. So, yeah, man, he's saying he wants this fight. He's in Texas, Wilder, not England. And also how you know that this is bogus, because he sat there and said all of that. Then he turns around and goes, well, the Andy Ruiz fight is not off the table. So I guess we'll look into that. Like, as if he doesn't want it. He doesn't really want that fight. When I told you guys, after Andy Ruiz, who just sat here and fought, Luis Ortiz, when he won that fight, you could see it in Wilder's face. He really wanted Ortiz to fight. Talked about how they have a history together, and every time we get together, it's always exciting. He really did not want to fight Andy. And what did they ask him about fighting Andy Ruiz? He said, well, I mean, you never know if if all things line up that way, then we can get on. Nah. No, do you want to fight him? Right? That's not the question about if all things line up and you never know. Do you want to fight Andy Ruiz? And no, he don't want to fight Andy Ruiz. Okay? And so again, you're not sending offers to Andy Ruiz. They're sending you offers. So this is what I'm saying when you say you want to fight a person, care about who you like as a fighter. I don't care who you think will win. When you want to fight, you make the effort to send the offers. You guys are not sending any offers. And you know what's so funny is because I was reading comments and people were saying shit like, oh, big deal. Andy Ruiz beat Luis Ortiz. He waited for him to get, all right, here y'all go with this. He waited for him to get, motherfucker, he was old when Wilder fought him. This is the shit that I'm saying. And the funny thing is, if Andy Ruiz, if Luis Ortiz right now say he wanted to fight Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua said he has no interest in fighting Luis Ortiz at this time, the same people that y'all just opened your mouth to call him old to just try to take credit away from Andy Ruiz's win, you know what y'all would be saying? Oh, Joshua, he's ducking Luis Ortiz. Why? Y'all just said he was old. So what is he ducking him for? So, this whole story, what really, honestly, I'm going to tell you how I feel about AJ versus Wilder. I feel like because they have the same generation, because this is a fight that should have happened a long time ago, that's the threads that people are hanging on to as far as looking at this fight. Me personally, honestly, I don't even care if the fight happens or not. Like, it's like you want it, okay, it happened. Whoever's going to win, and then let's put the nail in the coffin on this shit. It's been years now. And it's like people really don't really give a fuck anymore, man. It's like these guys been talking about this. It's always just, you think the fight's going to happen, then you don't, then the fight's not going to happen. Like me, I keep telling you guys, this fight may never, ever happen. It's definitely not going to happen in 2023. So if things happen the way that we've been told it could play out, versus if Usyk and Fury actually fights, where does Wilder come into play? So, if he does end up fighting against Anthony Joshua, well, will it be like 2025 or some shit? 2026? Then what happens? They fight and AJ knock his ass out. Then, he waited for Wilder to get old. It's always going to be the same excuses. Because you got to think about it. Let's just say, for example, if Tyson Fury decided to retire, or if Mauricio Sulaiman decided to do the right thing for the heavyweight division, and look, Fury, we need you to defend that title against, because he has no mandatory challenges, none. Let's say, bottom line, he strips him of the belt. Who would Mauricio Suleiman choose? Who would he choose to fight for that vacant WBC title? Just think, who do you think it wouldn't be Anthony Joshua. It wouldn't be AJ. So whoever he would pick to fight for that WBC title, would the same thing be on the table, the same offer on the table that person fights against Usyk for undisputed? Because it seems like what is best for boxing, what the fans really want, the real boxing fans want, it seems like the powers that be is kind of against that. It's always they want to find their own direction because they look at who they want and who they don't want. And after Mauricio Suleiman sat there and said that Anthony Joshua and Usyk, they don't want to fight Fury. Fury's a victim of the times and all that shit. This is why I'm saying it wouldn't be Anthony Joshua. And I don't think they would want to put a person in there with Usyk because I don't think he wants Usyk as the champion. You understand what I mean? So who knows? Now, does he all of a sudden just catapult Deontay Wilder into a title shot with someone? Imagine if that did happen. So what happens with Usyk now? He's just, unified champion. You understand what I'm saying? Because he would still be stripped, right? Unless they decided if Fury walked away or was stripped and they said, okay, well, we're going to put you in there with Urkovich because he's the mandatory. I know Anthony Joshua fans would like to see him at a point where he looks like he's capable of beating Usyk and then finally get revenge and beat Usyk. But I know boxing in general want to see some fresh fights. I'm one of them. I mean, I don't take it personal. I mean, yeah, if he fights anybody, I'm pushing for him to win. I can't say, what would happen against him and Usyk. I've seen nothing in his arsenal right now that makes me think he'd beat Usyk in a rematch because I feel like he still doesn't have the right strategy to beat Usyk. I've seen nothing that makes me think he'll beat Usyk in a rematch. Again, unless he just catches him with a shot that gets him out of there. Other than that, I don't see him beating Usyk in a rematch. In the meantime, with things being the way they are, I think only thing Wilder's trying to do is say what he's saying. Still not really wanting to fight just anybody, even though it's an elite top fighter, but bring some attention to himself because he has been out of the ring for a while. We know that fight with him and Hellenius only drew 75,000 pay-per-view buys, which is horrendous. And the fact that nobody brings it up to talk about it, but they always want to talk about who's who and who's a bigger star. Well, a huge star, 75,000. No, it goes to show you he needs the right dance partner. And I think he just want to keep his name, try to wake people up to get his name back in their heads, and then feel like he can talk his way into a title shot with whoever wins, a particular title. But I don't think he wants to really fight Anthony Joshua, man. I really don't. And the reality is, the older you get and you keep waiting for one fight, you keep looking for one fight. Matter of fact, this morning, I just seen I didn't even watch the video, but seen a thumbnail talking about it's on Francis Ngannou versus Deontay Wilder. And it's like, okay, man. And you see these guys say these things and they push for these fights. Now, I'm not going to hold a fighter accountable for what these content creators say, okay, and what they think and show their bias. But what I'm saying is you can't sit here and then call out Anthony Joshua, then say Andy Ruiz's name, and then somebody else's name and expect anybody to take you serious. You can't fight but one fighter at a time. So who do you want to fight? And until you start making offers and make sense out of it, then you're just chatting, man. You're just saying stuff that you don't even really mean. And again, the man is in Texas. He's out here in the States where you live. He's not back in England. He's not in the UK, nowhere near it. Okay? And like I stated, before, guys sitting up here making up lies, confirming, it's been confirmed Anthony Joshua has left, Derek James. But you see how everybody had something to say, but nobody goes back to check Blue and say, yo, Blue, why are you lying to us, man? You sat here and told all of us that it's been confirmed that Anthony Joshua has parted ways, with Derrick James, and is now back in the UK training with Ben Davison, instead of telling the truth because you didn't know the truth. See, you heard something, part of something, assumed the rest, made a video, and lied to so many people and followers of your channel. And basically what happens is the people sit back and Derrick James, AJ, they're not focusing on what, these channels are saying, what these people are saying in that sense. So they have nothing to lose. But now, after all the comments y'all made, and you realize that the content creator that gave you all that bullshit was lying, there was no truth behind it, you guys still follow and believe in what this person is telling you guys. And this is where we are as a people, man. We just don't care about what the truth is anymore. You draw lines and you take people's side, no matter how many lies they tell, no matter what they're saying, even though you see different. So anyone saying what you want to hear is who you root for. But yeah, so while y'all at it, and since y'all been falsely informed, okay, tell Deontay that, Blue Blood wasn't telling the truth, that he's not in England. He's here in Texas, in the States, and it's very easy to get a hold of him if he really wanted to. Plain and simple. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.